No one visited my son during his cancer treatment. I sat in the pediatric oncology wing every Tuesday and Thursday for 3 months, watching other children surrounded by family. Grandparents brought homemade meals in Tupperware containers. Aunts and uncles took shifts so parents could grab coffee or sleep. Siblings made colorful cards that decorated hospital room walls with messages of love and hope. My son had me. A laptop balanced on my knees so I could work between appointments, and a phone that never rang with the calls I desperately hoped for. Liam was 9 years old, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. The doctors caught it early, they assured me. Good prognosis, they said with encouraging smiles. But early detection doesn't make chemotherapy less terrifying for a child who throws up every night and asks why his hair is falling out in clumps on his pillow. I had sent a detailed message to the family group chat when we got the diagnosis. Liam has ALL. Treatment starts next week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at Children's Hospital. He's scared. We could use support. Mom, oh no. Sending prayers. My sister, that's terrible. Let me know if you need anything. My brother, sad face emoji. Dad, he's a fighter. Then silence. No one showed up. The first Tuesday, I told myself they were processing the shocking news. The second Tuesday, I made excuses about their busy schedules. By the fourth Tuesday, I stopped expecting anyone. Liam noticed. Of course he did. Children always notice. Why doesn't Grandpa come? He asked one afternoon, his small bald head resting against my shoulder, his skin pale from the treatment. He came to all my baseball games. He's busy with work, sweetheart. What about Aunt Sophie? She promised she'd visit. I didn't have an answer for that one. I just held him tighter while the IV dripped chemicals into his veins, poison that we hoped would save his life. The nurses knew our situation. I could see it in their sympathetic glances, the way they lingered to chat with Liam, bringing extra juice boxes and coloring books. They became our family in that sterile, fluorescent-lit space. We were in month 3, week 11 of treatment, when my phone buzzed during Liam's nap. He'd finally fallen asleep after a particularly rough morning of nausea, his thin chest rising and falling under the hospital blanket. Dad's name appeared on my screen. The message was long, detailed, excited. Sarah, incredible opportunity just came up. Commercial real estate development downtown. Ground floor investment. We need to move fast. $120,000 gets us in. This could set up the whole family for life. Can you wire the funds by Friday? I'll pay you back triple within 2 years. This is the big one. I stared at the message for a long time, so long the screen went dark, and I had to tap it to reread the words. Not how's Liam feeling. Not sorry we haven't been able to visit. Not even a basic acknowledgement that my son was fighting for his life while Dad was chasing investment opportunities. Just a request for $120,000 with a Friday deadline. Something cold and hard settled in my chest. Not anger. I'd moved past anger weeks ago. Somewhere between treatment sessions 12 and 15, this was something else. Clarity, maybe, or finality. The kind that comes when you finally stop hoping people will change and accept who they really are. I opened my banking app and sent Dad 50 cents, 50 cents. In the message field, I typed, "For your empty promises." Then I turned my phone to silent and went back to watching my son sleep. My phone started vibrating 10 minutes later. I glanced at the screen. Dad calling. I declined. He called again. I declined again. Then Mom, declined. Text messages started flooding in, one after another, my phone buzzing constantly. Dad, what is this? Is this a joke? Mom, your father is trying to help the family, and this is how you respond. My sister, this is childish. We're trying to include you in something big. I didn't respond to any of them. I sat with my hand on Liam's arm, feeling his pulse under my fingertips, steady and strong despite everything his body was fighting. That pulse was all that mattered. The messages escalated. Dad, you owe this family. Mom, we're calling in that debt. My brother, Dad's lawyer says you're legally obligated. The threats had started. I almost laughed. An hour later, my sister called from an unknown number. You need to talk to Dad. This opportunity closes Friday. I'm sitting in a hospital room, I said quietly. My son is hooked up to chemotherapy, and you're calling about a real estate deal. We care about Liam. Do you? It's Thursday. Do you know what happens on Thursdays? Silence. Liam has treatment every Tuesday and Thursday. Has for 11 weeks. Can you tell me which hospital we're at? More silence. You don't know, because you've never asked. We've been busy. I'm going to tell you something. Put Dad on speaker. Get everyone together. I heard shuffling voices. Then Dad. Sarah, let's be reasonable. For 8 years, I've been paying your mortgage. Complete silence. When your business failed, you came to me panicking. I took out a business loan and gave you $85,000. You said 6 months. That was 8 years ago. Someone gasped. Then you needed mortgage help, just temporary, you said. So I started paying $4,200 a month, every month for 7 years. I scrolled through my banking app. Property taxes, both car payments, Mom's $40,000 credit card debt, the country club membership, the Vermont vacation home, business loan payments, life insurance, the second mortgage. I calculated, in 8 years, approximately $485,000, maybe more. The silence was deafening. That's not possible, Mom whispered. You're a graphic designer. I built a design agency. 12 employees. Major corporate clients. I work 80-hour weeks. Liam and I live in a rental because I couldn't afford a down payment. His college fund is nearly empty. Why didn't you tell us? My brother's voice was small. Because you made it clear I was the screw-up. The divorcee, the one with no real career. You made me the charity case, not the other way around. Liam stirred. I lowered my voice. Here's what I realized today. You never asked where the money came from. You just took it. For 8 years, never said thank you, never showed up when I actually needed you. We didn't know. You didn't want to know. It was easier to take the money and see me as the failure instead of the person holding this family together. Someone was crying. I called my bank this morning, canceled all automatic transfers. The mortgage payment next week? Not coming. Car payments? Done. Business loan payments? Stopped. You can't. Dad's voice panicked. The bank will foreclose. Then you'll need that $120,000 opportunity to work out. Oh wait, you don't have capital because you've been spending everything I gave you. Sarah, please, Mom was definitely the one crying. We'll lose everything. I sat in an emergency room at 2 in the morning last month when Liam's fever spiked to 104. I called all of you, every single one. No one answered. Do you know who sat with me? The oncology nurse from his treatment team. She came in on her day off because she knew we'd be alone. My voice finally cracked. That nurse has known my son for 3 months, and she's shown him more family love than any of you have in his entire life. We're sorry, my sister began. I have bank statements, I said, regaining control. 8 years of documentation. Every transfer, every payment, every emergency I bailed you out of. I've also documented every Tuesday and Thursday for the past 11 weeks. The visitor logs at the hospital show exactly who came and who didn't. What are you saying? Dad asked, his voice hard now. I'm saying that if you want to talk about legal obligations, we can do that. I have a lawyer who's very interested in the $485,000 in loans I've made to you with no repayment plan, no interest, and no collateral. We can also discuss the emotional distress of abandoning a child during cancer treatment while simultaneously demanding 6-figure investments. Silence. Or, I continued, you can accept that this is over. I'm done being your bank. You have 4 months to figure out your finances, refinance your house, sell your assets, get actual jobs instead of chasing investment schemes. I don't care how you do it, but I'm not paying anymore. 4 months, Mom's voice was desperate. That's not enough time. I figured out how to raise a child alone, build a business from nothing, and cover your expenses for 8 years while working from a laptop. You can figure out how to support yourselves in 4 months. What about family loyalty? My brother asked, his voice bitter. What about taking care of each other? That's an excellent question, I said. When Liam gets out of treatment today, why don't you come ask him what family loyalty means? He's in room 412, 4th floor, Children's Hospital. Visiting hours are until 8. He'd love to finally meet his family. I heard Dad start to say something, but I hung up. My hands were shaking. Liam opened his eyes, looking at me with concern no 9-year-old should have to feel. You okay, Mom? I wiped my eyes and smiled. Yeah, baby, I'm okay. How are you feeling? Tired? Can we watch a movie? Absolutely. I pulled out my laptop and queued up his favorite superhero movie. He snuggled against my side, careful of the IV line, and within minutes his eyes were drooping again. My phone was exploding with messages. I muted it completely and focused on my son. 2 hours later, a nurse came in to check Liam's vitals. She smiled at me. "You have visitors in the waiting room." My heart sank. "Tell them, it's your brother," she said gently. "He's asking if it's okay to come in. Says he'll leave if you want him to." I hesitated. Liam looked up at me with hopeful eyes. "Okay," I said finally, "just him." My brother appeared in the doorway 5 minutes later, holding a gift bag. He looked at Liam, at the IV pole, at the medical equipment, and his face crumpled. "Hey, buddy," he said, his voice rough. "I'm sorry I haven't been here. That was wrong, really wrong." Liam looked at me, unsure. I nodded. My brother sat down and pulled out a handheld video game from the bag. "I thought maybe we could play together if you're feeling up to it." For the next hour, I watched my brother and my son play video games. My brother asked questions about treatment, about side effects, about how Liam was handling everything. He listened, really listened. When Liam dozed off again, my brother looked at me with tears in his eyes. "I didn't know," he whispered. "I knew you were helping Mom and Dad, but I didn't know it was that much. And I definitely didn't know they were ignoring you through all this." "Did they send you?" I asked quietly. "No, I came because I wanted to." He paused. "I'm so ashamed. He's my nephew. I should have been here." "Yes," I agreed. "You should have. I know I can't fix the past 3 months, but I'd like to be here for the rest, if that's okay." I studied his face, looking for manipulation or guilt tripping. I found only genuine regret. "Tuesdays and Thursdays," I said. 2 o'clock. "We're usually here until about 6. "I'll be here," he promised. Every single time. He kept that promise. The next Tuesday, he showed up with card games. The Thursday after that, with new movies. He started texting me every evening to check on Liam. The rest of the family was different. Mom came once, 3 weeks later, with expensive gifts and tearful apologies. She lasted 20 minutes before launching into explanations about how stressed she'd been, how she hadn't realized how serious it was, and how I should have been more clear about needing help. I asked her to leave. Dad never came at all. He sent a card with a generic "get well soon" message. No signature. My sister texted daily for a week, then weekly, then stopped. But my brother showed up. Every Tuesday and Thursday for the next 4 months until Liam's treatment ended. The family's financial situation imploded exactly as I predicted. They had to sell the house, the vacation home, and both cars. Dad's business went bankrupt. They moved into a small apartment and got actual jobs. Mom called me crying multiple times. I listened politely and said nothing. Dad sent one email, 3 months in, "You destroyed this family." I replied, "No, I stopped enabling it." Liam finished his treatment in February. The doctors declared him in remission. He'd need monitoring for years, regular checkups, but the cancer was gone. We celebrated with a small party at our rental house. My brother came with his family. The oncology nurse who'd become our friend came, a few of Liam's school friends. Not one else from my family showed up. Liam didn't notice. He was too busy laughing, his hair growing back in soft tufts, color returning to his cheeks, being a normal kid again. That night, as I tucked him into bed in his own room, he said, "This was the best day ever." "I'm so glad, sweetheart." Uncle Mike really came every time, didn't he? He did. That's what family's supposed to do, right? Show up? I kissed his forehead, breathing in the scent of his apple-scented shampoo. "Yes, baby, that's exactly what family's supposed to do." 6 months later, my design agency landed its biggest client yet. With the money I've been sending to my parents, I've been able to invest in my business, hire better talent, and take on bigger projects. I bought us a house, 3 bedrooms, a backyard for Liam, and a home office where I didn't have to work from a laptop balanced on my knees. My brother helped us move in. The rest of the family sent nothing. No congratulations, no acknowledgement, just silence. But I had what mattered: a healthy son, a successful business, and a brother who learned what showing up actually meant. And for the first time in 8 years, my bank account was mine. Every dollar I earned stayed with us, building our future, securing Liam's college fund, creating the life I should have been able to give him all along. I never regretted that 50-cent transfer. It was the best investment I ever made.